Welcome to the Inglorious Blasters podcast, the Star Wars Legion podcast talking anything and everything glorious or inglorious about the game. My name is Corey, and with me today are two plasteel pigs I call friends, John and Brendan. How's it going, my dudes? I can't even make it through this one. This is not an insult towards you. I just wanted to say it. It's an alternate name for stormtroopers thought up by Ezra Bridger from Rebel Journal. That's a bizarre one. I had to throw that one out there.
That one almost felt personal.
Yeah,
but,
I feel really bad about this one. I just wanted to say it.
I
love you guys.
It's definitely a unique one.
Things that make you go, ooh.
I just need to do, like, not insults, whatever the opposite of that is.
Well, as I've said before, I'm just immune to your insults at this point. I feel nothing.
Good. I taught you two to feel no emotion. It's good.
I just assume you're talking about Brendan whenever you insult us.
That's fair.
Brendan deserves it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyways, today on the podcast, we're going to go over our critical hit tournaments that just happened. Brendan and I went, so we're going to do a quick recap of our games. Then we got some fan mail. We're going to reach into the fan mail bag and read out some mail. Woo! We always appreciate that coming from you guys.
Hooray, mail.
Hooray! But before we begin, let's give a shout out to a couple of our sponsors of the podcast. Baron of Dice. Check out baronofdice.com. His Faraway Galaxy collection has all your Star Wars Legion dice needs. He's got a bunch of different faction-specific symboled dice, including two different colored sets. There's like a more clear one, a more marbled one. Check it out. If you use checkout code GLORIOUS, you will get a little bit of a discount. Brendan, why don't you tell us all about our 3D printing needs?
Yep. Panhandle 3D for all your 3D printing terrain needs. Store on Etsy. Find what you're looking for. And use the code GLORIOUS for a 15% discount. Get some awesome terrain for your tables to make your games more immersive.
Excellent. John, we got dice falling all over the table. How do we contain them?
Well, you want those dice to flow, and the dice must flow will allow you to do so by keeping them contained in these beautiful dice trays. Literally just came up with that.
Oh,
I can tell you guys are impressed just by the looks on your faces. So the dice, thank you. The Dice Must Flow is who's been making our dice trays for us for the last year, and they're now official sponsors of the podcast, and they are offering a 15% off discount off of any dice trays on their website. Their Etsy store is The Dice Must Flow, and you can get that discount using coupon code IGBlasters, all uppercase.
Excellent. Also, we want to highlight a couple tournaments coming up. We got the Crucible down in Florida, September 29th. You know the deal. We've been talking about it a lot. John's going. He's going to play Republic. Maybe build a lightsaber. Probably. He's going to bring the fam. He's going to play Star Wars Legion a day. Hip, hip, hooray.
Now you're just trying to take...
Is that a forced rhyme?
Leave the rhyming to me.
All right, you got it. Yeah, that's not my strong suit. My strong suit is insulting everyone. Moving along, we also have the St. Laurent Open. I think Brendan might know more about this.
It's a world qualifier regional for AMG, and it is in Canada, in Montreal, and it's in mid-October.
Hooray. Also, Crucible is a world's qualifier. I think they have two.
Yeah, they've got store champs kids.
Store champs, store champ kids, yep.
Yeah,
Nice.
St. Laurent actually has the regional qualifier kids.
Regional, okay, that's the difference. Nice. Go check it out if you are available. Get all that cool regional swag.
Purple suppression tokens.
Yeah, I was going to say,
yeah.
John and I really want the purple stuff.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
It would be sweet.
Speaking of, Corey and I do have a chance at that. After this episode drops at the Nova Open, so...
That's right. Brendan and I are going to Nova. If you're at Nova and you're listening to this show, come say hi to us. I promise we won't bite.
Depends on how hungry I am.
Right. If it's right after round one. Get out of my way. I kind of want to eat some lunch really quickly. No, I'm just playing. Alrighty. So, Brendan and I went to my local game store, Critical Hit, and they had we had a tournament over there. I was the TO, and I also got to play a little bit. So that was nice. We had 7 players show up. There are a lot of Legion tournaments going on at the same time, kind of within like an hour to 2 hours from my local game store. Like either the weekend before or like the weekend of it and the weekend after it. Like there's Legion events like going on all over the place. So some of the players I was hoping to get, got pulled in different directions. But either way, we all had a good time.
We did.
Oh, yeah. Brendan, do you want to chit-chat about how some of your games went?
Sure. I decided to try a list that, I've kind of talked about a list archetype of this before. I keep trying to find a way to make the ruthless keyword on Moff Gideon great. So I decided to go with a fun list to try out. I won't go over all of my games because they kind of followed the same flow, but I'll go over some feedback on the list based on my play experience. So my list was a full 800 points and 11 activations. It was General Veers with strict orders, Moff Gideon with improvised orders and the Darksaber, a T-21 a Shore Trooper with a medical droid, 1 mortar, 2 HH-12 Stormtrooper Specialist Squads with recon intel, and 2 Snow Troopers with flamethrowers, medical droids, recon intel, and impact grenades, and then 3 Scout Trooper strike teams. All the medical bots definitely confused my opponents because they had no idea why I needed 6 extra health in my army. But the look of pure shock and surprise when my Snow Troopers are at range 3 and then all of a sudden move 3 times and are at range 1 and are throwing a lot of black surging dice is great.
Yep, absolutely terrifying.
Because the impact grenades on the Snow Troopers were great in case I ran into some armor. But also it just replaced their white dice with black dice to add to the black dice of the flamethrower. So that was really fun. I ended up playing in round 1. I went up against a Anakin list, and I barely won that game. And then my second game, I ended up against some Rebels. That one, I handily won on some kill points. And that was a very interesting Rebel list. It had all the Rebel troopers had the ion guns, and there were 2 T-47s and Cassian and Boba Fett. It was very interesting. And then my last list was against another Anakin list. But this Anakin had an ISP in the army and some Barks. And I ended up losing that game and taking second place overall in the tournament. What I learned is this list can really hit hard. It can do a lot of wounds. The only problem with it is it's not good against a lightsaber. And especially a Republic list where Anakin exists. All the dodge sharing really negates how hard the Snow Troopers actually hit. Because between getting rid of some of those hits with dodges and having some surges to use on defense, I wasn't getting nearly as many wounds through as I thought I could. Maybe the dice were just a little hot for my opponents for defense. But, I mean, I'm throwing a lot of dice. A lot of these rolls, I was getting 6+ hits, and then they were only rolling 3 and they got 3 blocks. It was... It does a lot. This is definitely a fun list. And I think, anybody with a couple reps would be able to, do well at a local tournament. But I don't think this is the sort of thing I'd bring to an event like Nova.
What do you think you would change with the list? Like, would you add anything or remove anything?
Yeah, considering the whole idea of the list is to focus on Moff Gideon and, his ruthless keyword, I don't know what I would change just yet. I might maybe getting rid of the snowtroopers and adding some other stormtroopers into the list. Because the snowtroopers fully kitted out are 88 points, and it does take a little effort to get them close enough to do anything. So if I could maybe replace them with some, probably roughly around the same points, some stormtroopers with T-21s and stormtrooper specialists, they could potentially, even if I don't go with Veers beforehand, double move, have an aim, and shoot. If I hit them with... Well, I can't do the specialist and the medical droid. So, I could move, get an aim, and shoot, or if I make sure I go with Veers beforehand, with decent order control. Because they have to have the order on them. They can have aims. I can have them double move and shoot. So, you're moving from basically almost range 5 to get to range 3 to shoot with
it's quite
a T-21 stormtrooper. So,
yeah.
Something to think about. Another thing I might do is give up on strike teams. They just don't hit like they used to.
No.
It's
not so much.
2 dice every turn. If you're lucky, you get a crit and things start dying, but
they're only really good when you're fighting like Republic because of all the dodges.
So I'm thinking I need to come up with a way to maximize those points for something that throws more dice. Pierce is great, but when half the time I'm going, well, I'm going to use my snipers to shoot Anakin, that gets rid of the Pierce, but now he can't use his dodge. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. Well, congrats on getting second.
Thank you. Probably get rid of all 3 sniper teams and just put in IG-88 and go, now your green tokens are completely useless.
What if you put in like Iden? Iden's pretty cool.
Iden would be good, but again, it's 2 dice every turn.
Yeah, she at least has marksman though to kind of like confirm
make it a crit. Well, but still, it's 1 Iden is 2 strike teams. So
yeah, it's rough, but it's a cool concept. I like it.
No, it's definitely cool. Definitely need to keep playing around with it, and I think I'll continue to theory craft with it until I find something I like. But for now, it's really fun. It's probably one of the more fun lists I've played since playing Triple Dewback, because this is fun.
Nice. The surprise factor is real.
Oh yeah. I mean, I did name this list "Shooting Our Own Men," so.
It's like a very Games Workshop like Astra Militarum tactic. You shoot your own men.
Yeah. It's perfect. It's very Imperial.
Nice. Well, I was able to get a couple games. Like I said, we had 7 people show up, so I decided to just be the buy, right? During the first round, Daryl, one of my locals, had to bounce after round 1, so I kind of just filled in for him round 2 and 3. So I'll just go quickly over what I played and how it turned out. So I played Tempest Force with Major Marquand and ATST with the range 2 grenade launcher, and then the link targeting array. And then the Imperial Hammers pilot, right? And then I played one Stormtrooper with a astromech to get some repairs in, and then because I'm a madman, I did 5 Scout Troopers with Saboteurs.
Yes,
that's right. I had a 9-point bid, and the whole idea of it was I need my battle deck because I'm just gonna try and have these 2 big threats, march them forward, and have them deal with it while my scouts go do the objective and lay mines. Right? That's the initial concept that I had. So my first opponent I played against Separatist list. It was the he had two spider droids with ion cannons. He was able to ion a couple. We played battle lines and recover the supplies and something else. So recover the supplies was on purpose for my deck because I could just scout my ATSTs forward no matter the deployment and just literally make a big wall around the around the recover the supply center point. And that's exactly what I did. And then one of my scouts grabbed it and just like ran. Like by the end of this game, I had 4 boxes. So that'll tell you what type of a game this was. Yeah, I think he spread too far like out on battle lines. So he had like a bunch of stuff everywhere rather than keeping his stuff like clumped up. Right. He also had Asajj Ventress. This was a game where I threw a ton of bombs. I threw like, no joke, 12 to 14 bombs. Not all of them went off. In the very center, Asajj eventually came up and swung at an ATST, killing it. And then the following turn, she like, oh, no. During that same turn, she sucked in using Force Push my Stormtrooper squad, which is fine. They were done healing the ATSTs anyways. And there are 5 bombs centered around them. And I don't activate any of these bombs. My scouts are running with boxes. They're like, oh my God, she's coming. She's coming, get the detonators ready. So she force pushes the Stormtrooper squad out because he realizes, oh, you're just trying to pull the Stormtrooper squad so you can like, so you could punch her to get some extra damage and you don't really care about your dudes. He was absolutely correct. He force pushes the Stormtrooper squad out. And I go, okay, click, 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 click. 5 bombs go off. I hit 10 hits on 5 bombs, right? Asajj saves 9 out of those 10. And I'm like, that's not right. She only had 1 dodge. I think she had 2. She had 2 dodges on her. But even then I was like, okay. Sure, just save them all. Meanwhile, my Stormtroopers died. So basically, I just detonated bombs on my Stormtroopers, and like that's really it. And then it was funny. Asajj makes all of the rally roll except for 1 on her following turn. I'm like, okay, this is a game. But luckily, it didn't end up mattering. I just wanted to explain that funny part, right? I had 2 extremes while playing this list. And then my final game I played against that same Rebel list Brendan played earlier, right? Boba Cassian, some airspeeders, Pathfinder. And there's a bunch of like Ion in the list. So I was like, great, my ATSTs are going to have such a fun time. I didn't know what to focus on first, so I focused on troopers. We played battle lines, key positions, right? So I controlled the center. I only threw like 4 bombs the whole game, like 2 in the center and then like 1 near the rest of his stuff off in like a corner. So what I learned in this game is airspeeders are really, really good against the ATSTs, right? Like, I mean, obviously they surge to crit and then they have like impact 3. And they could just start so far out of like the ATST's range. So it was difficult to get some shots in. I did kill Boba. I did kill some Rebel troopers. Cassian was just up on a building, just chilling out, so I was never going to get to him. So what I learned, I mean, I eventually lost. He basically, he could have tabled me, but just like did not. I just didn't have enough scoring units by the end of the game. So what I learned is scout troopers hit really, really hard. I should have just ended up taking snipers for the Pierce 1, honestly. Because like it was funny, I had the 2 extremes where I threw a ton of bombs, and then I had the other extreme where it's like I only threw a couple. And they didn't really super impact anything. But either way, I just wanted to try this list out. It was a lot of fun. And the other thing is, I like Major Marquand and his command cards, but I hate his unit profile because he does not have the mortar launcher, the range 4 to infinity. Mainly because I think the range 2 gun is a trap. I don't think you ever want to scout up. I think it just dies too quickly if you do that, even if you have 3. So I think you want to play like a range game.
Bringing impact.
Yeah, everyone's bringing impact. So you definitely want to fight at range. And it just stinks that Major Marquand doesn't have that gun. So let's say you're running triple. 2 of your ATSTs could throw 9 dice at range 4, but Major Marquand can only throw 6. So that's just kind of stinks, right? That's my like one gripe with him. Anyways, that was Critical Hit Tournament. Everyone had a lot of fun.
It's a good time.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good
You'll
time.
be happy to know, John, that a Republic list won the day.
With an ISP.
With an ISP.
Congrats to Chris.
Yeah.
Chris is a good dude. He's a listener as well. So congrats, Chris. You're the man.
Yeah, congrats, man. Alrighty, before we begin our fan mail segment, I'd like to give a couple shout outs for our podcast. So we have a Discord channel. Did you guys know that?
No.
It's crazy. It's in the show notes, okay? Go to the show notes and click it and you'll just automatically join. So you want to chat with us? That's like a great place to do it. Show off some of your hobby work, maybe pictures of your pets. We would love to see you there. You can find us on most popular podcasting apps now, including Spotify, Apple, Google, and YouTube. So if you leave us a rating and a review, that would really help us out. Much appreciated. Lastly, if you think our judgment is wrong, like on our Glorious versus Inglorious segments, or just want to ask us a question without being in Discord, you can send us an email at swlingloriousblasters@gmail.com. Check out our socials. We got Facebook. We got Instagram. Just search it, The Inglorious Blasters. You'll find it. It's not too hard.
Or is it?
Or is it?
It's not.
It's not. Moving along. Reaching my hand into the mailbag. What do we got, Brendan?
We got, first up on the docket, we got a email from Tyler. Tyler's a member of 3 Foot Good YouTube channel, and they are hosting the 3 Foot Good Fall Brawl, and he's got some questions for us. So, he says he's writing to ask for some advice. The 3 Foot Good Fall Brawl, which he's a TO for, and we have mentioned here on the podcast before, is approaching fast, and it's now officially a 32-man tournament. The waitlist started, and they expanded. They already had enough to fill it, which is cool. And now they have a World's Invite kit. So, it's his highest attended player tournament. Before this was only 22. Last year, the 3 Foot Good Brawl. So, he's wondering what tips, tricks, and pointers do we have. He knows that I ran ACO, which was 32-man, and we've done some local tournaments here. We draw a little bit of a crowd sometimes for our local stuff. So he was looking for advice to make this go as smoothly as possible. The format he's running is a single-day 4-round event, and they're providing pizza for all the attendees, but no lunch break to make sure they get that 4th round in. So, yeah. Any advice for running a tournament?
Sweet. Well, first of all, congrats on getting 32 people to show up, and you have a wait list already. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's legit.
My first thought is, like, if you ran a 22-man event last time, I think you'll do just fine running 32. It's like slightly bigger. You just have to be slightly more on time about things. I think that's just going to be one of the main things you want to focus on, right? Making sure everything runs smoothly and on time. It's kind of like you said, where you're providing the food because there's no lunch break. So you're trying to get to the round 4. So I would say just like keep an ey on the clock and just keep everyone informed of how much time they have left in the round. Like that's probably like the biggest thing. Hey everyone, hey Legion players, there are 60 minutes left. That's something I usually announce at my tournaments. And Brendan as well. Just let everyone know, like, hey, like, what turn is everyone on? So what about you guys?
For me, the biggest thing is, one, make sure you got enough tables, and don't think, hey, I can stretch this one table into 2. It would be a lot better to just have enough tables. And if the place where you're having it will let you, set up the day before or the night before so you're not feeling rushed in the morning. A 4-round day is a long day, so do everything you can to make it as stress less as possible. And then make sure round 4, if everybody's playing round 4, great. If not, at the end of round 3, have the players clean up the tables. I did that at ACO, and it was a huge help. Just, hey, when you guys are done, put the stuff in the box, roll up the mat. Awesome. Thank you. It really makes your day at the end a lot easier.
That's a good call out. That's 32 players is 16 tables. Yeah, you definitely want to optimize as much as that time as you can, either the day before or like come in 2 hours early if you can or something like that.
When you have up 32 people, make sure you set expectations for what kind of a day it is. I'm sure it's been spelled out to these players since it's probably mostly a local crowd. There's a world invite on the line. Maybe give some glimpses into what other things are going on. If there's a bounty board, if there's any other extra prizes that could be won, just make sure people know what they're signing up for. So no matter what, they are, not going to be disappointed or surprised. If you've let everybody know that they're getting food and it's pizza, there's no lunch break, that's great. If somebody shows up and they're surprised by that fact, it means something got missed in the setting expectations stage. And you don't want anybody to feel like they're going to have a bad experience as a result of just happening to miss a communication of something.
Yeah. John, you got any advice? I mean, I know you don't really run them, but is there something you like it? Is there something you like when a TO does?
I have plenty of advice in this situation. So I don't have to be good at running events. I just have to befriend the people that are good at running the events. So case in point.
Nice.
Hence this lovely symbiotic relationship we have. So if you notice at all these events, I'm a very good hype man. I am handing out stickers, dice trays, befriending the community, talking up the podcast. I try to talk to as many people as I can. That's where I fit in with running the events. And
that's an important role. And
that is the most important role because... Because if you can't get people to come to the events, you don't have an event. So you need a good hype man. You need to keep people happy. So that might be the most important role. Now, in all seriousness, you guys obviously are the experts when it comes to this. So I 100% default to the two of you. You have been very successful, and I ride your coattails when it comes to running events. So...
There you go.
But actually, here's a piece of advice. Find your jack of all trades when you're at one of these things, because the one thing I do is I always am asking, like, how can I help? What can I do? So you do need like one or two people that are willing to like pack up terrain, move things around. Like, so just somebody that's willing to be a extra set of hands, regardless of what that looks like. I'm always happy to help in any way that I can. So usually you have one or two people that are kind of standing around saying like, oh, what can I do? What can I do? Task those people. Don't think that you have to do it by yourself, because there's often one or two people that are more than happy to help if you just tell them what to do. In a polite way, obviously.
Yeah, that's a good call out.
Just embrace your inner Palpatine and tell people to do it.
Do it.
Do it. Brace the dark side. Start pulling those strings.
Also, like, the more consulars you have, like, probably the better. For 32, you probably want 2. I mean, 1's probably fine, but like 2 is probably like really nice to have.
2 is great if you want the ability to actually, leave if nature calls. So
right. Agreed.
Otherwise, if you are on your own, make sure you have somebody who can fill in if you need to step away for a few minutes.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
What I appreciate at events like with that many players is, and Brendan, you did it at ACO. During the round, you hand out like door prizes or swag. So, for example, you were handing out dice or tokens while we were playing. That's just like a fun like little goodie. Like, it's like, oh, my dice, my dice roll just went poorly. Oh wow, look at this swag I just got. I feel so much better now. That usually uplifts me.
I will say, if you have the ability to have enough things to give out every round, that's amazing. If not, don't worry about it, and give out things when you have the chance or when you have designated to give things out. People are just appreciative that they're getting something beyond just playing the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, cool. Well, I hope that was helpful information and advice to run your 32-man event. Good luck.
Yeah, can't wait to hear more about it and hope it's a great success.
Oh, also, I do believe he said the Republic ATRT Inglorious ruling was incorrect. So yes, I would like to say thank you. I think Republic ATRT is actually not that bad. There you go. I was robbed.
There's always got to be one person.
There's two now. Daryl counts.
And Tyler also did mention he demands a recount on the Rex debate also. So
maybe.
Give him direct clone trooper and I'd play him.
I think he
too
would,
good.
Yeah, I think he would be too good, is right.
I'm fine with that also.
No. I think if he had direct clone trooper and he was like an extra 25 points, like I'd still probably play him. I think he would still be like really good.
25 points seems fair for that.
That seems pretty fair for like direct clone.
What is he at now? Isn't he 100 points right now, or did they just drop him to 9? I don't even like. He doesn't even cross my mind as a playable.
You're the Republic player. You should know this.
Oh, he's 95.
John's written him
Split
off
the difference. So he's 95. So you're saying he should be 120?
He used to be 120.
Yeah, he used to be. So like
Rex?
I'm just saying, if you give him direct clone trooper,
when he launched, he was 90. Then he went up to 100.
No, didn't he go up to 120?
No, he went up to 100, and now he's at 95.
I swear he went to 120 at one point.
Either way, poor Rex.
Maybe 110. I could see 110 if he had direct. 120 is like that's like Boba Fett range.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
all right. Well, we
all
digress.
Right. All right, moving along.
Moving along. All right, our other email. We got an email from Isaiah. Isaiah says he's 12 years old and he loves the show. Well, thanks, Isaiah. And anyways, he's just wondering what upgrades would be best for an Obi-Wan, Cody, 2 Barks, and 4 Phase 1 list would be. Nice little 8 activations, and we're filling out the flavor.
Excellent. Well, thanks for writing us to the show, and I'm glad you're playing the game. I'm going to direct this question to John because he is the Republic player.
So, using those 8 units, what I put together was Obi-Wan Kenobi with Barrier Push Protector, Cody with Targeting Scopes, and then you got your 4 Phase 1s, 2 with RPSs, 1 with Boil, 2 with DC-15s, both with Medics, and then 2 Bark Speeders, both with the RPSs. So you got a crazy long-range gun line with the 2 Barks flying in there, tons of impact. It's kind of a riff, honestly, on the list that I just won my World's Invite with the Anakin Clone Commander kind of gunline 2 Bark RPS list. Crazy amount of impact, crazy amount of range 4 shots. It can flex in many different ways, but it's got a lot going on. Seems pretty spicy to me, and it hits pretty much all of the points and stays within all of the criteria that you were looking for. 8 activations, Obi-Wan, Clone Commander, 4 P1s, and 2 Barks. What do you guys think?
I think this looks sick.
Yeah.
I like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Barrier and Protector is like my favorite combo on him. So like that's already solid. Like I think Obi-Wan and his like squad staying at range 4 and making the opponent's army come to them is like probably the best way for Obi to like flex his muscles there. Cause he's far enough back Boyle's doing work, Obi's doing work, and then the clone medics are going to help out Obi a lot, just in case he takes 1 or 2 on the Guardians, right? Like this is beefy. I dig this.
Yeah, it's 8 activations, but it is between the 2 medics and Boyle. It really doesn't feel like 8 activations because there are no squishy activations. It's not like some of the 10 or 11 act list where it's like, it's really padded with like strike teams or the MKs or mortars, and like you can clip some of those activations really easily. Your opponent really has to work for each activation that they're going to take out of this list. And I have found that with really all of any Republic list, honestly. But this one is very hardy, which is what you want when you have 8 acts. Every one really matters. You can't really afford to lose one. And if you do, you need to trade up in the process. So, and slight tangent, the DC-15s with the medic, I was talking about this in our Discord last night. It has got to be my favorite unit right now when it comes to like core units. Like I realize they're Courage 1 core units and 91 points, but they are so flexible. With like a move shoot, you got the crit 1. If you lose a guy and you don't feel like your force user, like because I'm always playing Anakin with them, is in like danger long term, you can just heal the guy back so that they're always rolling 2 red, 5 black with the crit 1. It's such a reliable dice pool. The medic's in there. It's a 6-man squad. It's just a very legit squad. I feel like people don't give it the credit that it deserves, but it is very spicy. So if you haven't tried that squad, it's got a lot of flex to it. I feel like people obviously always default to the Z6 and the RPSs are making a comeback. But the DC-15 with the medic, so it's a 6-man with the 2 red, 5 black, very spicy.
I honestly haven't seen a Z6 in a clone list in like forever. Like, are Z6s and clones any good?
I saw some on Saturday.
Did you? Well, I haven't seen it. That's
because I don't play Z6s.
let me say.
Yeah.
That could be
see, like, that's what I'm getting at. Like, that's probably why I play John too often.
Let me say, it's also the first time I ever saw an Anakin saber throw supported by a Z6, and that is just way too much surge to crit on a roll.
Yeah, that's a lot. Nice.
I went with a slightly different approach for the list building based on what Isaiah gave us. My thought process was more along the lines, well, Isaiah asked us for these 8 specific units, so maybe this is all he has.
Yep.
So I didn't want to, think about any upgrades that come from other boxes other than a card pack. So my list doesn't have any medics or anything in it because they don't come in those boxes.
Oh, good.
So what I came up with was Obi-Wan with Force Push, Force Barrier, Vigilance, and Protector. Commander Cody with Hunter and Targeting Scopes. 1 Phase 1 with the Z6 and Boyle. A Phase 1 with just a Z6. 2 Phase 1s with DC-15s. And then the 2 Barks with the RPS and long-range comlinks. The idea being, Cody's got that direct vehicle. Maybe with the Barks, you're still learning how to maneuver them, what's a good spot for them and everything. With both of them having a long-range comlink, Cody can direct to either of them every turn, so you can have an order on them at least one of them every turn, and always make sure it's on the one that you need to be controlling, because you realize, oh, this one ended up in a bad spot and I need to get it out of there real fast. And then the rest of the list is just generic stuff that you get in the boxes when you buy these boxes. I mean, the only things that don't, I think, are the Vigilance card. Other than that, I think that's maybe the Vigilance and Force Barrier are the only ones you would need a card pack for. But, you can always proxy those for a lot of events until you get your hands on a card pack. But if you own these units already, you can run this list. It's not quite as hardy as John's list, because it doesn't have the medics, but it does almost the same thing, but just with what you have without having to get a bunch of specialist boxes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Solid call out.
I dig the making a new list with what you got, right?
Yep.
99% of the time, proxying like against your opponent, like you just ask ahead of time. It's like, hey, here's 1 or 2 cards. I just don't have them. If they're most of the time, a lot of players are like usually cool with that. So yeah, just try out whatever you want. Also playing with what you got is also fun too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I always build with what I have.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
One purchase I would definitely recommend is a ARC Trooper box so that you could get Echo. Because he is it.
That's like a good upgrade path, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that might be... Christmas is on the horizon. So that might be the next...
Or, I'm just saying, maybe Isaiah is just a true fan of the 212th, and he doesn't want Echo. All right?
Actually, that's like... what is that? That's 2 starter boxes worth of stuff plus Cody? Like, that's...
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No.
That looks like a good list to me, right?
Yeah, no, if you think about it, this is like one of the best starter lists you could do with only buying 3 boxes worth of Legion product.
Stuff. Yeah, actually. That's solid.
Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, I'm trying to think if he's going 212th route, is there anything we can do to make it more 212-y? I don't know.
I think, that's the main highlights, right? It's just Obi, Cody, clones, right?
And vehicles, because Cody likes the vehicles.
Cody
so.
Did Cody have an ISP? That's like, I don't know if
we never saw Cody and an ISP together at any point in the Clone Wars. Also, we never saw Cody and Saber class fighter tank but could always throw the lat in there. Just saying.
You could.
Is the goal to win?
Yeah, you could.
Is the goal to win games, or are we just playing for fun? I guess we should have started there.
I've gone 3-0 with the lat.
You're going for maximum observes, okay?
I did that. I won.
Was it with? Oh, it was Republic.
I went 3-0.
Republic list. I was thinking of.
I went 3-0 with a Cody lat. Come on. You just don't believe in the lat, all right?
No, we don't. Bring the lat to Nova. Come on.
I did that last year.
Was that Vader lat?
Bring Gar lat.
Counts.
Yes, I brought Vader lat last year.
Oh, God.
No, there's too much impact right now for me to bring a lat to an event like Nova.
There is. There's a lot.
Local things, sure, I'll bring the lat.
Well, I've wanted to play test with the ISP, but again, you're right. Like, if you were to take it to a larger event, the amount of impact right now, all it takes is one bad matchup and it could just get smoked.
Now, I will say the ISP I played against, it did have the twin missile pods. So
I think that's the way to go, if any, because it can stay at least far back.
Right, that's the thing. I just had HH-12s that really would be able to do anything to it. And he just fired and kind of backed up. And then, I can't move and shoot with my HH-12s to get back at you.
Yep. Smart plays. Nice.
So there's definitely some play for an ISP, I think, even with all the impact right now.
It's just so short.
Yes.
It's a squatty
It's painfully
unit.
short. Yeah.
Yeah, but Isaiah, I hope that our list ideas help. And if you have any other questions, please reach out. We'll be happy to discuss them on the podcast. But you'll have to let us know if you go John's route or my route and how you're doing with it, because I definitely want to, see, because John's too much of a coward to play Obi-Wan.
Gosh,
he is. I keep telling him to play him, but he's like, no. Anakin's my crutch.
when have I said that? No,
every time. Roll back the tape.
It's been every time. He's like, well, I really like to try out this list, but I just have to include Anakin. So
you either have Anakin, Yoda, or Padme in basically every list because, I like being able to share tokens because I can't play an army without sharing tokens.
Yep. That's John every time.
Every
Doesn't
time.
even sound like me.
You know what does sound like you? Remember last night you were like, when we were playing a game, you were like, Anakin should be safe here. Yeah, he was not safe there.
Oh, I need to hear about this. What happened?
He was not. No, he basically, John and I got a pickup game, and I threw some speeder bikes. He threw Anakin behind a building. He's like, yeah, I think Anakin's safe here. No. Speeder bikes just kind of flew in. He's like, well, I have too much suppression on him. You're gonna play the flaw card. It's going poorly for me.
Oh, did he give up right
Yeah,
then
it
and there?
was rough.
Well, there's lots of other issues.
No, okay.
There was that, and the half my army was dead. So
John traded all 3 of his barks for none of my stuff. So yeah, it was going great.
Oh.
I was
fun.
theory crafting. You're
that's
obviously
okay.
familiar with the Yoda Chewie triple barks. I had a crazy idea for Anakin Cody triple barks. It did not work out as I had planned it in my brain.
I think it was just turn 0 and
That was
deployment,
a
right?
large
Out of
part
anything.
of it.
I think that was the issue. So don't write it off just yet.
Yeah,
More
more
testing.
testing required.
More testing.
Speaking of more testing required, this is a list I've come up with for the LAT that I haven't shared on the podcast.
Ooh, do tell.
I'm not bringing this to Nova, so I'm okay with sharing this. But
Oh,
it seems like a fun list. So it's Director Krennic with aggressive tactics and improvised orders. Shore Trooper with the T-21. Snow Trooper with Del Meeko. Stormtrooper with T-21. Stormtrooper with HH-12 and Specialist. 1 Mortar. Death Troopers with the DLT, Comms Relay, and the E-11. 3 Strike Teams. And the LAT with Baron Rudor, Linked Targeting Array, and High Energy Shells. The basic idea being Krennic just sits in the LAT, directs to the Death Troopers who send it back to the LAT. So there's always an order on the LAT. And then Baron Rudor's just recovering and shooting every turn. So he has 2 aims and marksman.
Oh, interesting.
I guess it's not the worst thing in the world if Krennic gets a wound, a suppression, and a face down order when that lat gets down.
He's doing nothing else. He's literally just an improvised and aggressive tactics battery inside the LAT. He's not doing anything.
He ain't doing anything. I have a dumb rules question.
And it's 11x and 800 points.
Are you allowed to recover while in the lat? No, right?
He doesn't have to recover.
No. Did you take improvised orders?
Yeah.
Well, you can recover.
You can recover.
You can, but can you?
No, the only action you're allowed to do is to
disembark, right?
So
Okay.
you only have it once, but considering your army is all core and special forces,
Yeah.
It-
Yeah. I'm
other
just,
than
I'm just
Krennic?
thinking. I was just trying to think of something neat. Something else for him to do.
no, he's there, and he's safe from bounty inside the LAT.
Okay. All right. You sold me. Fine. Lat good again. You heard it here first.
I will definitely try this at a local event at some point in the future.
Yep.
No,
at Nova.
not
I
Nova.
can't tell sometimes if you guys come up with this stuff just to see if you can get a reaction out of me. We're gonna put Krennic in the lat. It's great. It's good. It's good.
I didn't say it was good.
You bet they're looking at me, and I'm just like, I can't tell if you're being serious.
No, this is something I built after we had the LAT debate, and I've just been looking at it. It's just sitting in my list builder, and I keep looking at it going, someday I'm going to play this at an event.
It's
day.
200 points to put Krennic in a lat.
Yeah.
What a bargain.
For marksman with 2 aims, it's great.
You are
And a search
familiar
token?
with Vader, right? Same points.
Yeah. I am very familiar with Vader. You are also
I am.
very familiar
He's
with
a
my
one-man
favorite,
wrecking
so-
ball.
One-man army.
But I can't always play Vader. I gotta branch out sometimes. Like when Inquisitors come out, and I'll run both of them.
I'm excited. I'm hoping we see some stats at Mini Stravaganza for some of these things.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm excited for release dates and like pictures and like any info they give us. Right, just show me the stat card for Geonosians. Like, am I buying all of them or buying like 2 of them?
So I will want to say, for anybody listening who doesn't know what we're talking about, Mini Stravaganza is a multi-day event that Atomic Mass Games is going to do streaming, where they're going to talk about all of their games, and it's September 14th through 16th. So we're expecting there to be a lot of new Legion news. Hopefully we'll get some reveals of some of the unit cards and actually know some dates for when we get some new product, because right now we are unknowing of when the next releases are.
Yep. We're just kind of in a drought, but that's okay. Mini Stravaganza is right around the corner.
Yep. Next month, only a couple weeks away. It's going to be great. Lots of news, hopefully. I
hope so.
There should be. I mean, the past Mini Stravaganzas, they have given us a lot of information.
Yep.
During those. And yes, I'm very excited for the Inquisitors. I will 100% be running them. If they are out before PAX in December, I will 100% be running them at PAX. I don't care if people say they're bad.
I couldn't hear you.
Inquisitors!
Inquisitors! Do you think they're going to have Hover 1? God, I hope they have Hover 1.
I don't think they'll have Hover 1. What I'm hopeful for is we'll get our first like flippable lightsaber card, upgrade card. My theory crafting brain has decided there's 2 sides to this thing. One side, it's the one-bladed lightsaber. Maybe that gives them like surge to hit and less dice sort of a deal. Mm-hmm. While the spinny blade double side, lets him throw more dice, doesn't let him surge to hit, but then gives him jump 2 because helicopter blades.
Oh, that'd be neat.
I'm
I like
here for
that.
it.
Something different. A little flavor.
Yeah, I think it would be cool.
Yeah.
So
I dig it.
That's complete out there. Just it's literally a thought I had earlier today.
Anything else we're excited about before we close the episode, gentlemen?
Inquisitors.
John, anything?
No.
Excellent. Well, we are the Inglorious Blasters. I'm Corey.
I'm John.
Lad Attack.
Brendan.
Stay glorious, everyone.